Welcome to Communing with Divine, a podcast where I share my spiritual quest and the lessons and the insights that I've received from many divine beings and energies during meditation. I am your host, Meraki. Now, let's begin. Welcome to the 26th episode of the first season of Communing with Divine. March the 12th, 2023. I feel strongly that today my higher self, that I also refer to as my source self, and my ether self want to address me together, so I've called them in, and they're now both standing here in front of me, side by side. They're explaining that the time has come. The time has come for me to begin to see them as one, not as separate. I know that I address them separately, even though I understand that there is darkness within the light and light within the darkness. And I understand that the idea that they're separate is an illusion and that they're really one energy. But my ether self is saying that I still see them as being separate, and this is true. I'm being shown a child who is going from crawling to toddling to striding. So this is the phase where I go from crawling to toddling, I think. She says that this won't be a sudden shift for me, but that for now I must call them together and see them together, just like I did with the sacred feminine and the sacred masculine. I don't know if I've explained this before, because when I'm doing my calling in, I tend to skip over all of that unless somebody comes directly to address me to give me a message or a lesson that I need to share. And the reason that I don't share all of these little interactions is because it would be very boring to just hear me calling in beings and saying thank you to everyone. It's a process and it takes time. And while it's essential for my work to do this, it doesn't make for riveting podcast. But I call all of the beings in who stand with me every day, and I usually call them in individually. So in the case of the sacred feminine and the sacred masculine that my ether self is referring to, I used to call the sacred feminine in on her own. I would recognize her, I would thank her, and then she would go and she would stand to one side of me. And then I would call in the sacred masculine and I would recognize him and thank him. And then he would go and stand on the other side of me. But slowly they started to let me know that they wanted to appear together. They wanted to be addressed together. And for me, it was seamless. I didn't question this change. I still saw them as separate, but I would call them together, and they would stand next to each other. But then they would separate and stand on opposite sides of me. Usually, the sacred masculine would stand to my right and the sacred feminine to my left, as this would be in line with my personal belief system. But then, one day, after I greeted them and I thanked them, they merged together as one. And this singular orb of their merged energy came in around me. And I found myself standing within this orb of their merged energies, and it was incredible. So my interactions with them and their energies has evolved over time, and it happened naturally for me without me questioning it. So my ether self and my source self are explaining that this will be the same with them, that it's time that I stop separating them out from one another. It's an important part of my development. They're indicating that this will become more of a theme for me now. With energies and beings who represent one half of a whole or either side of a balance, they'll begin to merge into singular whole energies, representing the completeness of their energy's natural union and state of being. And these mergings will first occur where I have the least resistance. So I had no resistance to the merging of the sacred feminine and the sacred masculine. I had no resistance to it at all. And I have no resistance to the idea of light and dark being one. So that's why they're next. I had noticed recently that they swapped positions sometimes, with my source self standing beneath me instead of above me, and my ether self standing above me. I noticed this, but I never made a big deal about it or even questioned it. I just accepted it. They're explaining to me now that this was a way of gauging my preparedness. It was a way to introduce this with them to see how I would react. would I be sort of like, oh, that's kind of interesting. What am I going to do with it? Am I going to resist it? Am I going to try and force everyone back into the position that I think they should be in? Or will I just take note that it's different and kind of go along with it? And thankfully, as I just said, I just went with it. The goal is that I no longer see light separated from darkness. I see both darkness and light as a singular energy. So eventually I won't have a source self and an ether self. I'll have whatever this new and whole, complete energy is. And this step is actually an easing towards what will be that final step, which is the full merge of all of them, if I'm ever able to handle that. That's what I'm understanding from them. Now they're pointing to the Watcher. This is all part of this. He made himself known just now. Remember who he is. I'm a part of him. One tiny part of him. One part of his consciousness that he sent out from himself to experience this particular reality in a particular way through me. He has sent out many, many bits of his consciousness, and we are all linked together through him, and we're all a part of him. We are whole through him. He himself has never incarnated. And he is the one now who's helping me walk my path, to shed the old skin, as it were, to step through to this new phase. And it's a path of a new level of enlightenment for me. And what is happening right now is a part of this. There is never an accident when it comes to the energetic higher realms. There's just not. The Watcher shows up, and I'll have no idea why, but I'm always thrilled to have him with me and to be with him. My source self and my ether self are saying it's time to start to merge. As I said, the Watcher is here to help me, just like he helps me along my path. My source self and my ether self are standing next to one another. Each of them suddenly sends a beam of their energy both upwards and downwards, forming a column of light energy and a column of the energy of darkness. Now they're merging together. Both the bodies I perceive them to have and these energetic columns that they are sending out. Their bodies and the columns fully merged with one another. These energies are mixed, but still perceivable in the most microscopic, I don't know what word to use, microscopic way, I guess. So I can perceive their separation, their specific energies within this one energy, for they have become one. The column is moving towards me, just like the orb of the merged energy of the sacred feminine and the sacred masculine did. This column is coming towards me, and I am to stand within it. The power of this column of energy is overwhelming and indescribable. The Wise One is watching me. He asks, "Do you remember the sand?" He's saying this because I had a tiny little flutter as I stand here right outside the column of this energy. It was almost imperceptible. It's trepidation. That's the level of fear it was. It was a fleeting little flicker of trepidation, and I had the thought, can I handle this? The Wise One and I are going to work on this now before I stand within the column of energy. I'm going to pick up that little piece of sand. I'm looking at it, and suddenly I find myself standing on my path. Interesting, I'm wearing my sandals today, which I don't usually wear. I'm looking at this little bit of sand and recognizing this fear. It's the fear of the unknown. It's the fear of change. It's the fear of lack of confidence in myself. Can I do this? Am I capable? I will have to address this fear. I look at the piece of sand in my hand and I say, I believe in myself. I am capable and I trust in the divine. All is as it should be. My true self is part of the one, and therefore I'm already a part of the all that is. I'm already a part of the whole. I trust that the separation is an illusion, and that I have the ability to see, to know, and to accept this truth, the truth that all is one. As I said these things, I watched as the piece of sand in my hand began to vibrate. As I spoke, it began to vibrate harder and harder, And once I finished, this little piece of sand broke into even smaller grains of sand in the palm of my hand. And then a breeze came and blew it away, blew it back into the desert. As this happened, I found myself back, standing in front of the column of merged energy of the darkness and the light, standing next to the Watcher, the Wise One. I say to him, I'm ready, and the column moves in around me so that I'm standing in the center of it. I don't know how to describe this experience, what this feels like. The column's not solid energy, and so there is space in the center for me to stand. I don't know if it's always like this or if they did this just to be able to accommodate me. The result of their merger is an energy that is incredibly intense, and it's whirling around at great speed. And yet, within the column where I'm standing, it's completely calm. I am within it and observing it, but I am not a part of it. I don't know what I expect to feel, but I can only describe it as a feeling as if I'm home. And there is a peace here that is unexpected considering the intensity of the movement of this merged energy that is all around me. I feel changed, deeply changed. I don't have the words yet to describe what it feels like. The column is moving now, and I find myself standing outside of it, just looking at it in complete awe. I'm speaking with the goddess Aletheia. She says, "You are doing well." She's explaining, she's saying, wait until you actually have to merge with the darkness and the light. And then with all of us, she's showing me that when the time comes, this large merging into one, it will begin with herself, Gnosis, and the two sages. And then they will merge with the other beings. And this will continue until all of us has merged, and there will just be the one. Hopefully, I'll be able to do this someday, but honestly, I don't know that I'll ever achieve that level of enlightenment. But I suppose it's a goal, and it's good to have goals. We'll see. No matter what, it's all been an adventure, and it's the greatest adventure that I've ever been on. I'm speaking to the sacred feminine and the sacred masculine, and I'm thanking them for being the ones to train me to get me ready for these sort of mergers. I've never had a problem with the concept that there's light within the darkness and darkness within the light, or anything to do with the duality of this conscious reality and how energies are one in their true state. But there's a big jump between theory and application sometimes. The sacred feminine is saying to me that part of the reason that they were the first for me, the first to present this as a real experience instead of a theoretical one, is because I understand the merging of energy and the physical. So she's directing me to the part of my calling in where I say, I am of heaven and of earth. I am where spirit meets form. I am a miracle of creation. We all are. This shows that I can understand and feel the merging of the physical and energetic within my own being. So because of this, I found it easier to make the jump of seeing them merged together, to see them seamlessly go from being two separate parts to merging into a single entity. I thank them for explaining everything to me. They smile, and then they just merge together. And now this orb of their singular energy comes around me, and it's just amazing. I get this charge of both of them, of this balance of their energies. I'm speaking with Jesus now, and he's saying that this is an exciting time for me, that I'll be learning to take down barriers within my mind and within my heart, because it's perceived barriers that block my way, and they will dissolve. I will see them for what they are, illusions, creations constructed by myself and by others that do not really exist, and they will dissolve. Jesus says, this is freedom. This is wisdom. This is knowledge. This is a merging with the all, of the all. This is what you seek. Truly, this is what you all seek. The answer lies within all of you. Fear, the greatest delusion of all, must be met. Fear must be called out for what it is. Fear must be recognized and dissolved. For if you go within without identifying and dissolving your fear, you will not find truth. You will not find oneness. You will only find fear and mistruths. You will only find separation from the One, and the illusions will be reinforced, not dissolved. Those who go within, those who pray, those who meditate with fear will find only the same. The path to truth and oneness will be lost on them, even as it shines brightly, for they cannot see. They will not see, for they are distracted by their fear, by their misbeliefs, and they are blocked by the walls that they have constructed. And so it is. Mary Magdalene says, the path of mysticism can mislead, and she's reinforcing what Jesus just said about fears and misbeliefs. Now she's showing me winding paths that go off of a main path. And these are going to thickets of thorns and stagnant swamps, while the main path is straight. It's so straight and so inviting. She says, you must stand naked. You must strip yourself of all your beliefs. You must release and discard all fear before walking along the path of mysticism and enlightenment. You cannot walk this path should you choose to hold on to these things. If you carry fear and mistruths, you may only wander the other paths. She's showing me a false light on the winding side paths. It's very interesting to look at. I see a person, and they're standing right before the path they seek to walk, but they have these heavy garments on, and they have all of these bags filled with stuff, and they're afraid to let go of these things, to leave them behind. They're saying to themselves, what if I need this? What if I need that? They're not trusting divine, they're not trusting the universe, they're not trusting the One. They're saying things like, I might need this jacket, I might need these shoes and those boots, and all of the things in my backpack. Oh, and this tent. These things make them feel prepared and safe. They rely on these things and are trusting in these things to keep them safe. They believe that they need them. They believe this to their core. They're not trusting in divine. And because they're not trusting and are holding on tightly to these things that they believe they need, they can only see the path that requires what they carry with them already. And I'm going to repeat that because Mary's emphasizing how important this is. This person can only see the path that requires what they are taking with them already. They cannot see the path that they seek. It's invisible to them. It's invisible to them because they have a preconceived idea or ideas that they need what they carry with them. And so again, the path that they long for, that they seek, is invisible to them. They already have a predetermined idea of what the path should look like and what they need to bring with them on their journey that will serve them best. They know it all, which is why they know nothing, which is why they will turn from the path they seek and take a winding side path that is familiar and that is suited to what they already have with them. The path that meanders endlessly and does not reach their desired destination is the path that they see and the path that they will choose, because that path speaks to the things that they will not leave behind. I'm being shown a light on this side path to nowhere, but it's a false light. It looks like a lamp or a lantern. It's mimicking the real thing, and there are many of them lighting this meandering path. But the light on the path ahead of them, on the path that they seek, has a beautiful purity to it. And you can't see where it comes from. It just is. The light on the path to enlightenment just is. It just exists in truth. But it doesn't look or shine in the way that this person expects it to. So they don't see it. They see the false light that tries to imitate the true light. They see the false light and they are attracted to it, towards it, and to the path that it illuminates. This is what feels real to them, and so they chase this false light. And each time they come to one of these lanterns, they believe that they have found something, found the illumination that they are seeking. But it does not. It cannot illuminate within. It can't satisfy what they yearn for, the oneness. And all along this side path, there are false lights. And this person goes from one to another, searching. but they never let go of what they carry with them. They never strip down. As I look at this person, I have a question. I want to know what happens if after many, many years of being down these side paths, if they suddenly have an epiphany and look at their fears and strip away their misbeliefs. What happens to them? Mary is smiling. She asks, "Do you not know this answer? Do you yourself not know this answer?" Okay, right, so that's true. That's really what happened to me at first. Wow, I can see this person clearly now. This person isn't somebody else. This person is me. She's showing me my journey, my growth. As I slowly looked at myself, worked on my filters, worked on my belief systems and my fears, as I made my way back to the path I was seeking, dropping these things as I went, these things that I didn't need, these things that I never needed, I found myself back with my toes on the edge of this main path, the right path, the path that leads to what I seek. When this happened, I dropped the last garment I had. I stood naked and in trust, and I stepped through the diaphanous barrier naked and found that I was clothed with what I needed as I stepped through to the other side. We are never barred from the path. None of us are. But we have to be brave enough to look at ourselves in truth, to look at our fears, our misbeliefs, to look at the energetic cacophony that we have created for ourselves and by ourselves, and accept that things are not as they seem. We must approach with an open mind and with an open heart, and all will be revealed. And we will know oneness at whatever level we are ready for. Mary says, "No one will be denied, for they cannot be, for in truth, we are all one." This is so beautiful. Thank you for this. She says, "You are welcome, child." I'm speaking now with Mother Universe. I'm checking the dial, and we are still connected and all is still aligned. I'm learning so much. I'm learning and I'm enjoying it. Mother Universe says that soon I will have the freedom to fully embrace my learning without other concerns. And I must continue my work. I must continue to strive towards my goals, but that these other things that have been distracting will soon be resolved, and then I will be free, which will allow me to focus even more on this work. That this change will free me from certain tethers that will allow my spiritual journey to continue much more quickly. I think that's what I'm understanding. I'm speaking now with the Wise One, and I'm thanking him for coming to me when I called, even though I didn't even realize that I'd called him. He replies, "You were ready." March the 14th, 2023. I'm speaking with the God Gnosis. Gnosis says, "The path to self-knowledge is a path of self-truth. The question is, how do you, with clear eyes, look within to see what is there in truth? Many mislead themselves. They look within and they say, 'This is who I am. This is truth. That is my shadow side.' These are things which mislead me, that confuse me, that keep me from my path, that keep me from honoring my true self. But oftentimes they overlook that which is most crucial, for it can be difficult to look upon those things, to see these things with clear eyes, to face that which truly serves as a barrier to honoring who you are. How does one gaze internally with truth and in truth? How can one look within with purity? It is not so easy. Human beings are easily deluded, and they easily delude themselves. They efficiently mask that which must be faced. They cloak it with pretty things. They cloak their shadows in bright colors and shining ornaments, so that they may walk past them without feeling the need to consider them and to lay them bare. True knowledge of self takes courage and purity. It takes honesty and a determination to allow nothing to hide from your gaze, to mask nothing. This is the challenge. This is the lesson. Thank you all so much for being here with me today and listening to this episode. And I hope you'll join me for the next one. And in the meantime, have a great day.